While driving, now her heartbroken family talks to Fox 5. Tonight, how they're remembering the young mother as they plead for justice.
Plus, a downtown restaurant is the target of vandals. Why the damage left behind isn't stopping the owner from helping to feed would-be customers. Good Saturday evening to you. Thanks for joining us tonight on Fox5Atlanta.com. I'm Deidre Dukes.
And I'm Doug Evans. Looks like the rain will stick around for a couple more days. Expect a foggy start to the morning.
Yeah, we want to get straight to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Jeff Hill tracking live Viper tonight.
Yep, and we've got some patches of light rain. Then we've got all that drizzle that just doesn't show up on radar. And that pretty much over all of North Georgia will be with us overnight and into early tomorrow morning. So keep your umbrellas handy with you as you get up early on Sunday morning. Let's take a look at what we have on our Fox 5 Live Viper. And again, showing a few patches of light rainfall, but there's a larger area of drizzle that's just not showing up on the radar. Take a look at the lens of our net cam downtown. 68 degrees, dew point at 65, and east wind at 14. So it's kind of blowing all that mist and all that drizzle around. 71 degrees, the high today. Got down to 66 this afternoon. Current temperature right now, 66 in Jasper, 65 up in Blue Ridge, 63 in Clayton, 67 in Athens, 70 in Edenton. Temperatures tonight maybe getting down to about 64, 65 or so, and that'll be enough to produce some fog by early morning. Take a look at some of these rain totals. Picked up 0.73 of an inch of rain here in Atlanta over the past 24 hours. Closer to 1/4 of an inch as you head on up toward Rome. About a 1/2 inch of rainfall in Marietta. Lesser amounts to the south, 5,800s in West Atlanta, 1,500s in Athens. Picked up 1,700s in Gainesville, 5,400s at PDK. So overnight tonight, again, we'll continue with the light, patchy light rain. The drizzle and the fog will be setting in. Now by tomorrow afternoon, I think the base of the clouds will start to lift a little bit. So it may look a little bit brighter, never really going to get much in the way of sunshine. And then for tomorrow night, we've got the big lunar eclipse, the supermoon eclipse. I don't really think we're going to get a chance to see it. We're just going to have too much cloud cover. Drizzle and fog, 65 for the overnight low. We'll have your complete forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Jeff. New at 10 tonight, a local family looking for answers tonight after a woman dies after being shot in the face.
Early this morning, 25-year-old Tiara Bogan Jones was driving with friends through southeast Atlanta when a gunman opened fire on their SUV.
Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz is live in DeKalb County. And Jacqueline, you just spoke to her heartbroken family.
Yeah, the family is gathering here in DeKalb County at a relative's house. They are absolutely devastated and try to be there for her young children. And they're also asking the public to come forward with answers on who shot and killed this mother of 2 children.
You shot my daughter in the face. I got to live with that.
The father, sister, and loved ones of Tiara Bogan Jones comfort each other Saturday night and come together to demand answers and justice in the 25-year-old mother's murder.
A mother of 2 young children who we have yet to explain to them that they will never see their mother again.
Tabitha Henderson says early Saturday morning, her sister, who was driving with a friend, had just picked up someone in southeast Atlanta. According to police, near Hank Aaron Drive and Milton Avenue, another vehicle opened fire. Officers say Bogan Jones was struck in the face and lost control of the SUV, causing it to flip over. Firefighters rescued the other 2 people inside, and they did not have any bullet wounds.
She didn't deserve this. It wasn't a part of her life. It wasn't a part of her mess.
I broke down, I couldn't believe it. I said, it's not right, it's not fair.
Family members say they believe Bogan Jones was not the intended target. They hope someone will come forward to solve the murder of the woman they called a loving mother of a 3- and 7-year-old.
I want justice for her. I don't want to take justice in my own hand, but I want justice.
Now, Atlanta police haven't named any suspects yet in this woman's murder, but if you have any information, you're asked to call Atlanta Police or Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous and receive a reward. Reporting live in DeKalb County tonight, Jacqueline Schultz, Fox 5 News.
Very sad for that family. Jacqueline, thank you. 3 men are behind bars tonight accused in a series of crimes in southeast Atlanta. Police say they got a call Friday night about robberies near Ornwood and Portland Avenues. That's when 2 of the suspects led them on a brief chase. Ended when they crashed their car on Wellswood Drive. Officers say the duo took off running while shooting at them. No one was hurt, and they eventually caught up with the suspects. A 3rd man was caught by a police dog.
Tonight, a man is recovering after falling into a 30-foot well behind an Atlanta home. The firefighters tell Fox 5 the man tumbled into a well behind a house on Jonesboro Road. We're told the man was working to seal up the opening of the well when he accidentally fell into the hole and was trapped for about an hour. A firefighter had to go into the well to get the man out. He was alert, but was taken to the hospital with a back injury. Well, new tonight at 10, a restaurant in downtown Atlanta is picking up the pieces after a devastating crime overnight.
The owner says not only did the crooks steal the cash register, they also caused significant damage. Fox 5's Claire Sims is live in the studio now. And Claire, the restaurant remains closed while they make these repairs.
Yeah, Doug, the Baraka Shawarma Mediterranean restaurant has been open on Walton Street in downtown Atlanta for 5 years now, and they have never had a break-in before. But this was more than just a break-in. The restaurant calls it vandalism. A handyman attaches plywood to the front door of Baraka Shawarma Mediterranean. The glass gone after an overnight break-in at the restaurant on Walton Street in downtown Atlanta.
Oh, very sad. Very sad, yeah, very sad.
Owner Amari Gadai says it will take time to fully recover from all of the damage. An employee went to open the restaurant Saturday morning and found this. A soft drink cooler tipped onto its side and broken, appliances thrown to the floor.
It looks like absolutely a mess. I mean, we cleaned up pretty much all day.
Burhan Sadi and other family members spent the day putting things back together. He says this was about more than just stealing the cash register. It was vandalism.
Why would a person who wants money just go all over and crash everything?
Gadai opened briefly to feed a few customers Saturday evening. Her restaurant, the only one for miles that serves halal food, food that Muslims can eat because it is prepared according to Islamic law. She says she has a loyal group of regular customers. Some of them even pray at the restaurant when they come to eat.
We have a praying area. The praying area, everything is damaged. So it's very sad, but still, we thank God, we are okay.
And while the repairs to the restaurant continue, Gadai says she's thankful no one was hurt. Now, Gadai says she has surveillance cameras up in the restaurant, and she hopes one of them may have captured the burglars in the act. But of course, the TV that they used to review the video was also damaged, so they're going to have to check on that later.
So unfortunate. Thank you, Claire. Well, developing tonight, take a good look at this photo. The man in this sketch is wanted for attempted rape. Atlanta police say he attacked a woman inside her apartment on Canterbury Road in Buckhead on Monday. Well, police think the man is in his 30s, 5'10" to 6 feet tall, and weighs about 180 to 200 pounds. If you know who he is, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 404-577-TIPS.
Atlanta police have arrested a group of teens caught on camera ransacking a home and helping themselves with whatever they could fit inside their backpacks. The guys showed no fear of busting into this home off Boulder Crest Road in East Atlanta Thursday. The victim says the teen stole guns, jewelry, cash, and his sense of security. The homeowner got a tip the boys attended McNair High School, and that's where he tracked them down. 6 juveniles face charges from burglary to terroristic threats against officers. Local families mourning the loss of a little boy from Pike County tonight. It's a heartbreaking story that we've been following recently. A note posted on the Facebook page for Leland Shoemake says the 6-year-old lost his battle with an amoeba infection. His mother says he contracted that infection while playing in the dirt.
New at 10 tonight, precious puppies rescued from a puppy mill in Macon now have a new homes in Metro Atlanta. Today, hundreds of families came to the Atlanta Humane Society's Mansell campus to try to make the right connection. Between 40 and 50 dogs were put up for adoption on a first-come, first-served basis. The rescued breeds include mini poodles, cockapoos, schnauzers, and more, and were brought to Atlanta earlier this month. And families said they had to take a chance despite the long lines to try to bring one of those puppies home.
Just been thinking about it for a while, and then this just came about, and we got excited and been looking at the dogs and decided to try and get one.
Well, if you missed out today, there are still more of the puppies who will be put up for adoption at a later date. The Humane Society says it's just overjoyed that so many people want to give the dogs new homes.
A lot of smiles out there. Well, today is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, and all day long, the Fulton County Police Department has been urging anyone with unwanted or unused prescriptions to turn them in. Officers say this is the safest way to dispose of medications instead of flushing them or throwing them in the trash. Now, if you missed today's drop-off, the department has several locations you can use to drop off prescription medications. Just check them out on their Facebook page for the location near you.
Well, it was a very busy day for Pope Francis in Philadelphia. Tonight, the Pope was treated to a concert and even some stand-up comedy.
That's right. Fox's Joel Waldman has more on the pompous visit to the city of brotherly love.
The Pope arrived in Philadelphia to the theme from Rocky, but it is the world meeting of families that is truly the main event.
Once a child asked me,
Ustedes saben que los chicos preguntan cosas difíciles.
you know that kids ask difficult questions.
Me preguntó,
He asked me,
Padre,
Father,
¿qué hacía Dios antes de crear el mundo?
what did God do before creating the world?
The leader of the world's more than 1 billion Catholics is a man who an estimated 1 million faithful came to see in the city of brotherly love.
I assure you,
Que me costó contestar.
I found real difficulty to answer the question.
Y le dije lo que les digo ahora a ustedes.
So I said what I'm now going to say to you.
Antes de crear el mundo,
Before creating the world,
Dios amaba.
God loved.
Porque Dios es amor.
Because God is love.
The Pope, who earlier in the day led a mass and visited Independence Mall, said no society is healthy unless it leaves room for family life. Sunday is the Pope's final day in the United States. He'll hold a mass for a crowd that could reach more than 1.5 million faithful. In Philadelphia, Joel Waldman, Fox News.
New at 10 tonight, some of the biggest names in the state's Democratic Party came together tonight for its annual affair. The Democratic Party of Georgia held its state dinner tonight at the Hyatt Regency as a kickoff to the 2016 election season. Civil rights icon Reverend Joseph Lowery was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award named after longtime Georgia Congressman John Lewis. Party leaders say this event is a great way to bring state Democrats together to focus on its mission.
We have Democrats from all over the state and a few from out of state that have come in. We have over 850 people here tonight to celebrate the kickoff of the 2016 election season.
Event organizers say the state of the Democratic Party in Georgia is strong, and they say its base is excited for the next election season.
Well, developing tonight, the shock settling in Washington, and now everyone wants to know who will replace the Speaker of the House. Just a day after hosting the Pope during a rare joint session of Congress, Ohio Republican John Boehner announced he would step down next month. The longtime congressman told his wife and chief of staff he was going to resign ahead of an expected leadership challenge. Some in the GOP were often frustrated with Boehner. We compromised, they said, on various issues, and they were calling for him to go or to be removed. But President Obama praised Boehner for being honest and doing his best at a very difficult job.
We have obviously had a lot of disagreements, and politically we're at different ends of the spectrum. But I will tell you, he has always conducted himself with courtesy and civility with me. He has kept his word when he made a commitment.
He was the issue instead of the issue at hand, which is to get back to the Constitution, to do the job we promised the American people we do, and get on with doing what we have to do to fight Barack Obama.
All right, before he leaves, though, Boehner must get a government funding extension done in the next few days.
John Boehner will also be a big topic tomorrow morning on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace. Now, Chris will be joined exclusively by former Florida governor and presidential candidate Jeb Bush. It's Bush's first appearance on Fox News Sunday since May. Well, you can see it all right here on Fox 5 Atlanta tomorrow morning at 9. Nobel Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai urged the United Nations to focus more on education. The young activist called education a human right that should be given to every child. She made the appeal following a speech at the UN Development Summit in New York. She was shot in the head by the Taliban in Pakistan in 2012 for campaigning for girls' education and has since gone on to become an author and advocate.
Federal investigators say the front axle of a duck boat involved in a deadly crash in Seattle was sheared off. But as of now, officials still do not know if it was damaged before or after the collision with a bus. 4 international college students were killed in that wreck. An NTSB official says the axle is headed to a federal lab for more testing. Well, the approaching supermoon is already causing some problems for homeowners in Florida. Sunday night, the moon will be closest to the earth, meaning tides will be high and the water will be coming in. It's already led to flooding in some areas that have seen far too much water recently. The National Weather Service has issued an urgent coastal hazard message extending a coastal flood warning until Tuesday.
Dramatic video shows officers rescuing a man pinned down in his car in a canal in Utah. The car was traveling down a road, hit a barrier, and crashed into the water. And when officers arrived, the driver told them his legs were stuck in the car. The troopers found a ladder nearby and used it to pull the man out of the water. Both of his legs were broken. A not so good idea leads to a fire at a gas pump. Take a look. This man says he saw a spider on his gas tank, so he decided to try and burn the critter because he is deathly afraid of spiders. Well, there you go. That's what happened. A worker at the Centerville, Michigan gas station saw it all go down. She hit the gas automatic stop button and called the fire department. The man grabbed a nearby extinguisher and put out the flames before crews arrived. Employees say the man came back the next day and apologized.
He was sorry. He apologized. He was sorry. He didn't know, and you know, it's just one of them things that happen. Stupidity. That's all I would call it. Pure stupidity.
Everyone there very lucky. The gas pump is completely charred, but the man's car was barely damaged by the flames. And great news, no one was hurt there.
All right, it's the #1 killer in the United States, but today thousands of people hit the pavement in Centennial Olympic Park to help fight heart disease.
Well, Fox 5 is a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Heart Walk. And as Fox 5's Claire Sims reports, today's event raised nearly $2.5 million.
3, 2, 1, go!
Thousands of people start their Saturday in a race against heart disease. And for many, like Jenny Gilhouse of Marietta, this fight is personal.
I have heart disease. My mother is in critical condition. She's had heart disease. I've lost my father for heart disease, my sister, several members of the family.
This is the first time Gilhouse has participated in the Atlanta Heart Walk. The annual event raises money for the American Heart Association, which helps fund research, education, and emergency care. Care like the heart transplant that changed Mackie Arkwright's life just 5 months ago.
I'm doing great, like back to normal. Like I'm so happy to get a second chance.
This year's event raised nearly $2.5 million, and we here at Fox 5 were happy to be just a small part of the celebration.
We at Fox 5 are especially proud to be here today to emphasize the importance of heart health. We got the Fox 5 team in the house. What's up, Fox 5?
Fox 5 team.
But it's survivors like Arkwright and Gilhouse who have made this event a success for 28 years.
Just knowing that I can do something to try to make a difference, you know, by making donations and helping out and doing whatever I can.
In Atlanta, Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
A lot of folks out there, but boy, it was soggy out there this morning.
Feels like we're living in Seattle,
Yes.
upper northwest or something like that.
You just wait till Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I don't think we're going to see any sunshine.
More the same.
Pretty much
Well,
all three of those days. Tomorrow afternoon might be the best of the stretch here coming up, and we won't really even see sunshine, but at least we'll get some dry weather. Let's take a look at what's going on outside right now. Nothing dry. We still have that light rain, that drizzle. We'll see some fog setting in overnight tonight. We've got the winds coming in out of the east, northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So it's a pretty raw evening, and it'll continue to be that way in the overnight hours right into tomorrow morning. The culprits being this area of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere in the Gulf of Mexico, just pumping all that moisture our way. Meanwhile, at the surface, we've got the easterly winds coming in, so that kind of just makes it feel a little bit cooler. And that Gulf moisture will continue to flow our way, wave after wave of the heavier stuff coming in as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Until then, it's just the light rain and drizzle overnight tonight, the fog setting in. Then by tomorrow afternoon, the clouds will actually start to lift a little bit, and we could possibly see thinning enough to get a little bit of sunshine coming through. I wouldn't hold out hope for that, but at least it'll look a little bit brighter by tomorrow afternoon. Then by Monday, that's when we really start to see that moisture build down to our south coming up out of the Gulf, and that'll be moving in as we go throughout the day on Monday into Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, before we completely get a break as we get into next Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Right now, next weekend looks really, really good. Here's a look at the tropics right now. The only two systems being watched, this one that's out in the Atlantic, and then the one that's helping to feed the moisture our way down across the Gulf. So about a 40% chance of development with that system. Either way, it's just going to continue to bring a lot of moisture our way, and you can see the track of whatever that becomes, just a regular area of low pressure, but just a lot of moisture will continue to track up into the southeast. The system that's out in the Atlantic, that's going to stay out in the Atlantic. High temperature today, 71, low this morning, 66. 729, it'll be a cloudy, foggy sunrise tomorrow morning. 73 hundredths of an inch of rainfall today, so now for the month we're 68 hundredths of an inch below normal, so we're chipping away at the deficit, 6.9 above normal on the year. And as far as rain goes, as we go right on into Tuesday, this is about how much we could see. Computer models ranging anywhere from a 1/12 of an inch on the low side to 1.89 on the high side. So it'll be somewhere in between, maybe close to about an inch of rainfall through those 3 days, or at least up to Tuesday. Then we got Wednesday too, where we could see some more rainfall. 68 degrees, the current temperature, 65 the dew points already. The atmosphere really saturated at 90%. East wind at 14. We're 2 degrees actually warmer this evening than we were last evening. 68 over in Noonan, got 63 in Clayton, 67 Athens, 70 in Edenton. Out to the west, 66 in Dallas, 68 over in Rome. So low temperatures overnight tonight. We're looking at about 65 here in Atlanta. Low 60s outside the perimeter. About the same can be said down to the south, maybe 65 over toward Thomaston, 62 in Athens. Low 60s, upper 50s up to the north. Just not a lot of cooling with all this cloud cover on top of us. Then 75 degrees, the high temperature tomorrow. So again, we might get a little thinning to allow at least some heat in. 77 in Thomaston, 77 over in Monticello, 80 down in Jackson, and up to the north temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Storm Team AccuWeather forecast for tonight: showers, drizzle, and fog, everything in there in clouds. Overnight low temperature of 65, and then for tomorrow, breezy and mild. A few isolated showers in the afternoon, but again, the clouds will lift a little bit. High temperature tomorrow up to 75. Extended forecast 77, rain likely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all 3 days, about a 60% chance of rainfall. And then once the system finally gets out of here, sunshine, but then drier air. So we'll see temperatures by next weekend in the mid 70s for highs, but those cooler nights, those fall-like temperatures at night down to 56 next Saturday. Doug, Deidre?
Looking forward to Thursday, Jeff.
You bet.
All right. Well, the weather was certainly a challenge for a lot of outdoor activities today. One that made the best of it was the Cruise into the Oldies car show in Sonoy. It features vintage automobiles from 1990 or older. Can you believe that a 1990 is a vintage automobile? There was plenty of muscle on hand as well, like that beauty. And after a wet start, the event saw big crowds, even a peak of sunshine in the afternoon skies. This is the 11th year for the car show there, with more than 350 participants from all over the Southeast. Well, high honors for 2 local teams today.
Yeah, the young ladies recognized for saving a drowning child in a DeKalb County pool this summer.
We want to celebrate you today on all the high principles of doing your job well.
YMCA officials joining DeKalb County Fire Rescue in honoring lifeguard Adriana Hudson and volunteer Jada Buckles for their life-saving efforts during a special ceremony on Saturday. Buckles and another volunteer were assisting Hudson, helping supervise children in an outdoor swimming pool at the Wade Walker Park Family Y last June when Buckles spotted a 5-year-old girl in trouble in the water. She yelled for Hudson.
Somebody calls my name and I look over to one of the volunteers and I see the little girl face down in the water.
She was in the 4 feet pool, and then she just stopped moving, and I was like, oh my gosh, this cannot be happening right now. I'm outside and this child is drowning.
I got her out of the pool, and I also like checked her pulse, and I tried to move her as far away from the pool as possible, and I performed CPR. And that's when she started coughing up water.
My heart was relieved once she woke up and she was speaking, and that was amazing.
Fire Chief Fulham had high praise for the young heroes during the special presentation.
And I'll say this, I don't know that any of my units could have done any better in how they handled this call. Somebody went and dialed 911, somebody started CPR, and somebody had initially noticed that the child was in the water. All 3 of those items worked perfectly to save this child's life.
Developing news just into the Fox 5 newsroom and the death of Bobby Christina Brown. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office confirms they have determined the cause and manner of her death.
The 22-year-old passed away in July after being found unconscious in her Roswell bathtub in January. According to the report, investigators now know how she died, but because of a court order filed late Friday, they cannot release the information to the public. Fox 5 has a crew working on this story, and we'll bring you more as the new updates become available to us. Well, what was supposed to be a girls' night out was interrupted by a little boy. Jamie Stiles gave birth to her son, Levi, at Petco Park Thursday night. The mother of 2 said she was having contractions earlier in the afternoon, but she still decided to go to the Padres game with her mother. Stiles didn't even make it to her seat when Levi decided he wanted a better view of the ballpark. With the help of an on-call nurse who happened to be a midwife, Levi, at 6 pounds 4 ounces, was born.
My birth plan was to go with it, honestly. I didn't really plan on that. I look forward to having his birth story forever.
There's a young fan, perhaps the youngest. The Padres organization was just as excited, sending their congratulations in a tweet, and the Padres mascot even stopped by the hospital for the newest fan paying a visit there.
He's a cutie. It's quite a story to tell, all righty. Well, thank you for joining us for Fox 5 News at 10 on fox5atlanta.com. You can stay connected to Fox 5 around the clock.
You can like our Fox 5 Atlanta Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Fox 5 Atlanta. Join us tomorrow morning for Good Day Atlanta starting at 6 a.m. We'll see you then. Good night.